Hey, Wrestle fans. You're listening to the Wednesday Night War podcast, episode 67, Half a Botch. What's up, Warheads? Wednesday Night War podcast, episode 67. I'm DJ. I am sitting here with Mr. Brett Miles.
Wow, we're using my last name
I
now?
am. Was I not supposed to?
I mean, it's
Is this going to put you on a list?
It's literally on my Twitter.
Okay.
So
Well, that's good.
That's okay.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm alive.
How are you, pal?
Way fucking better than I was a week ago.
Good.
That's for sure.
I'll tell you what, the nation was worried.
The nation?
Yes.
Of domination?
Yes.
Was PG-13 worried?
He was the most worried, in fact, and also the only one I can get a hold of.
Oh, what's Clarence Mason up to? Was that his name, Clarence Mason?
I think so, yeah.
Or was it Clarence Thomas?
No.
No?
No.
Dude, I'm fucked up.
No.
Leave me be. What's up, man?
Not much, pal.
Who was worried? Nobody was worried.
The nation, the world. The podcasting family that we've cultivated here. We're worried sick.
I did have some people reach out.
The soon-to-be-named network were terrified.
Well, I hope not.
We were going to lose the linchpin of the soon-to-be-named network.
If that's what you want to call me.
Yeah.
But no, I did have some people reach out.
Yeah?
And hey, everyone, I am COVID-free.
You are.
I'm good to go. I'm feeling really good.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
You're back. And better than ever.
You know what? I thought about doing that,
Yeah.
but then I was like, I'm not going to.
Okay. See, I kind of want to splice it into that part of the show.
You can if you want. Hey,
Okay.
you do you, boo-boo.
All right.
I'm going to do me.
I'd have to find it and get a good copy of it. And
I'm
make
sure it's not
Make sure
that
Bischoff didn't sue us.
Well, I don't know. He might. I don't think he's doing anything else other than sitting
83 weeks.
sitting on a ranch in Wyoming or
Right.
wherever the fuck he is.
All right. Well, glad to have you back, pal.
Yeah.
Glad to share a meal with you.
Yeah, that was fun.
To watch some television, watch a movie, hang out,
Yo,
watch Terry Funk on our phones.
I love Terry Funk.
I love
so
Terry
much.
Funk with all my heart. All
God
my heart.
damn.
I'm really inconsolable if he ever passes away.
If
If.
okay. Well, all right. If that's the boat you're rowing, okay.
That's what it is.
All right, pal.
Yeah, Terry's great. He's currently live as we're recording this. I think he's probably still doing the high spot, like virtual gimmick table. Signing autographs, selling memorabilia from Paradise Alley and bandanas he wore and tights. And I didn't watch it long enough to see if he had to sell anything from Roadhouse, mostly because my wife would divorce me when I mortgaged the house to buy something from his Roadhouse.
You literally
gear.
asked her, "Hey, can we downsize the house?"
True. Only if they put up his white cowboy boots. He runs, that
I
he
would
does
say
the
it'd be
best
worth it.
run ever and then shoots a gun in the weirdest way.
You say weirdest, I say best.
It's the best way. Who am I to say that Terry Funk's shooting a gun weird? But yeah, pal, we're back. We're back in person. We're going to talk some wrestling.
So we haven't recorded in person since what, Christmas Eve?
I haven't seen you since Christmas Eve, yeah.
Holy fuck.
Because I got sick with a little cold.
Yeah.
That wasn't anything serious.
Yeah, you notice how I didn't come over when
Right.
you had a little cold and
Right.
kept my distance, unlike other people.
Right. And then we haven't recorded together since.
We have not.
That's a bunch of episodes. 3 episodes, I guess?
That's a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of episodes. So it's one of the longest runs we've done not face-to-face.
Yeah,
We've
like
been
other than the
face-to-face most of
initial
the time.
COVID breakout.
Right. That's true. We did do that for a bit, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a while.
That was.
But we are
That was a while and almost a year ago.
That's scary.
Right?
That's fucked up.
Hey, world.
I don't want to think about that.
Hey, world. Let's get our shit together. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's continue to get our shit together.
Yeah. It's been a week.
All right, pal. Let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah.
Let's talk. We got some news.
I have some news.
Okay.
So it was announced, I believe, Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
That NXT has signed 3 women off of the independent scene.
Ooh.
So first signed.
Are you going with shoot name, indie name, or WWE name?
I'm gonna go indie name, now WWE name.
Okay.
So the first one they announced was Lacey Ryan.
Okay.
Who is now known as Zoe Stark.
Okay.
Thoughts on the new name?
I mean, I've seen these names already. They're mostly terrible. But all right, Zoe Stark. I guess you can't get Ricky Starks. You go for I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really. Honestly, I didn't really know much about her.
Don't know anything about her. Yeah.
So the next one that was announced was Priscilla Kelly.
Yes.
Now going by Gigi Dolman.
Yes.
Totally not a shout out to Gigi Allen.
No, not at all.
Not even a little bit.
She formerly with Darby, right? Is that how this works?
They're now divorced.
Yeah. Right.
But she was been everywhere, basically. MLW, Evolve, GCW, even AEW she's been in.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was in the Mae Young Classic, that one. I don't know how many have they done? One,
I don't know.
2 Mae Young Classics. Yeah. But she's a pretty big name,
right?
I think
it's a pretty big get.
I honestly don't really know if I've seen her wrestle much.
It's going to be really hard to differentiate all the NXT women with just brightly colored hair.
Listen,
punk rock attire and brightly colored hair.
I'm a fan.
I'm not complaining.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's going to be difficult.
Okay. Then the last one was I never know how to say her fucking first name. Elena Black.
Okay.
And she is now going by Cora Jade.
I
know she made some appearances on Dark probably like late last year, maybe.
Yeah.
So they're all signed with NXT.
And 2 of them are making debuts in the
I think they all
Dusty. Are all of them?
I know Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade.
Okay.
They're tagging together.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure Stark is... Yeah, so the article I have here, Stark is going to be teaming up with Marina Shafir.
Okay.
So...
what happened to her regular partner?
Jessamine Duke?
Yeah.
No idea.
Okay.
I haven't even thought about them since
they've been under
Shayna.
Contract for a long time and haven't been doing anything.
They'll remain under contract because they want to keep good face with Rousey. So
they're legit Rousey crew.
Yeah,
they're not like we're saddling you with Rousey.
No. They were like the 4 horsewomen of MMA.
Oh, okay.
It was Rousey, Baszler, Duke, and Shafir.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
You want to keep Ronda happy for her eventual return.
Yeah. I didn't know that those 2 were actually. I knew Baszler was obviously, but I didn't know the other 2 were actual.
Yeah, the other 2
fighters.
were as well. Yes. So
okay.
Good for them.
Yeah, gotta dangle that Ronda Rousey carrot every now and then, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why not?
But yeah, they're all signed now.
Okay.
Bolster that division more.
Yeah, well, they're doing some call-ups and...
Yeah, we'll see because the Royal Rumble is next.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, I believe.
Rhea's winning that Rumble. I mean...
That's where my money
definitely debuting in it. Having at minimum a dominant run in it, but probably winning it.
She should have like a Diesel 94 run.
Wow.
That's where I'm going. Eliminate like 7 people.
Yeah.
Stiff the shit out of Virgil. Because Virgil will be in the Women's Rumble this year too.
As long as they got the meat sauce.
But yeah, good for
it's good for those signings. Build that roster. It's interesting that I guess maybe they did it just for the Dusty Classic, but 3 women signed into what's already a very good quality and
it is wild division. That they're putting them right in, put them right on TV.
So they're signing everybody they can before AEW does.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to think. Priscilla Kelly wasn't going to sign there probably because of Darby,
right?
But that Elena Black, her and Janela have like a good rapport, so that could have been a possibility. But look at WWE. They went and signed Ben Carter after his impressive showing on AEW.
Well, and I listened to Will Hobbs on Unrestricted today. I think it came out, and he said that he had a tryout with the WWE, did a dark match with somebody, and they were like, all right, we're good. Thank you. Whatever. We're not interested. And then he showed up on AEW, and the next day he got a call, WWE wants to sign me, and he was like, I don't deal with that. He goes, that's bullshit. He's like, I don't deal with that petty nonsense. He goes, either outright tell me you don't want me, But don't leave me dangling. He goes, but it's just, he goes, they did that to me. They did it to Ricky Starks.
They did it with to Kingston too.
Right.
You know, like how they were going to make him a trainer. He shows up on Dynamite, then all of a sudden, oh, hey.
Right.
Now we want you. No.
Right.
That ain't
so,
happening.
It's interesting. So they're just going to pillage the indies. Anybody who gets any sort of shine in the indies, they're going to continue to pillage the indies.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Chris Dickinson to get the call because now he's in New Japan. So
I think that dude would rather be there. Rather try and get the shot at New Japan than in WWE. So
some people just want that, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all signed, so be on the lookout for them very soon.
Yeah. Women's Dusty Classic. Dusty Cup.
I'm all about it.
First ever.
I don't think there was any other news, was there?
There's some things they announced today that we'll talk about where they fit naturally in with the shows.
All right.
But I don't think I have anything else.
I do not.
Other than Bruce Pritchard being a douchebag. But that's not really related to this at all.
What do you do?
He gave Christmas gifts to the staff of Amazon gift cards, which is a great gift. Good for you.
Absolutely.
But he gave them in envelopes that were logoed with his podcast with Conrad.
Oh, good.
And everybody was like, "Oh, so the rules don't apply to you about having a third party gimmick, huh?"
They don't.
And they do not.
Not to Sweet Brucey. They don't.
They don't to Sweet Brucey. So,
all right. Well, let's get into AEW Dynamite.
Well, we got to talk about TNA and stuff.
Oh yeah,
for
we
Impact,
do. That's
pal.
right.
I will call it TNA until the day I die.
Yeah. So I didn't watch Hard to Kill.
Nope.
You didn't watch Hard to Kill.
Nope. I would watch Steven Seagal movie Hard to Kill. But I did not watch Impact Hard to Kill.
Oh, the main event was Omega wearing a Bullet Club shirt,
Mm-hmm.
Gallows wearing his Bullet Club gear, and Carl Anderson.
Yes.
Going up against Rich Swann, Chris Sabin, and unfortunately Alex Shelley couldn't wrestle.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know if it was
COVID
or just a travel restriction.
Okay.
Who knows? They didn't say.
Okay.
Which instantly took me right out of that match because I fucking love Alex Shelley.
Right.
And especially because they replaced him with Moose.
Yeah.
I know that Omega and the Good Brothers got the win there. I did not watch any of the match. I didn't see any of it. I didn't care. The only thing I really knew coming out of that was that Broski is not retired, and he's in Impact Wrestling now.
Good for him.
So, goody.
He can't retire because he's got to have income coming somewhere, or he's gonna have to start selling off action figures. And that son of a bitch just opened like the 1 in 1,000 MJF variant.
Well, that was Myers.
Oh, was it?
Which everybody was like shocked by that.
What a goof. MJF is a boy though, like that.
Yeah,
he trained him. So yeah. Him and Rosie O'Donnell.
God,
did you ever see that clip?
Oh, absolutely.
It's hilarious. What a little tyke.
So there was that, and then on Tuesday night, I saw a thing where Tony Khan and Jerry Lynn were sitting ringside.
Yes.
And Tony Khan was writing on his notepad or whatever. And then there was a stare down between the Good Brothers, Chris Sabin, and James Storm.
He's still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's there again, I guess. And out came Matt Hardy and Private Party, which I'm like, okay, there's a little more crossover, which, sure. But it resulted in Private Party having a number one contenders match against Storm and Sabin, and now they're the number one contenders for the Impact Tag titles.
Weird.
And I think that they're doing one of those like Friday night specials on the app or whatever, that Impact Plus app. So it's going to be Private Party against the Good Brothers for the Impact Tag titles. Okay. Which is kind of weird because we'll talk more about Private Party's actions as part of...
It's interesting. The thing about Impact is really interesting to me. Not really interesting, but like AEW doesn't give a shit about Impact when they're on Dynamite. It's barely mentioned.
They're starting to a little bit more.
Yeah. But like Kenny just had a match for a different company on a pay-per-view, and there was no real AEW build to it.
There really
and like from what I saw, the numbers in Impact, like they're going up, like they're double around where they normally were, so they're getting that boost. But like they were 10, 20 times higher, and now they're just double. So
Impact it's tough. I mean, listen, like they're doing the smart thing with the closed set, no crowd.
Sure.
I agree with them on that. But fuck, it's tough to watch.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, I agree.
But let's get into Dynamite now.
Yes, let's talk some AEW Dynamite. No special branding, just regular old Dynamite.
Straight up Dynamite. So we start off with Dark Order coming out with -1 on 10 shoulders because it is -1's birthday celebration. Silver's on the mic, says, listen, we're getting a new recruit tonight, but it's somebody's birthday, and the cake is getting lit, and he says, Johnny Hungy. And then the 1, a 2, a skiddly diddly do. And they sing happy birthday -1. Honestly, fucking, I love that they're treating him as part of the show.
So
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Brody's wife was at ringside with little Nolan. He looked so happy.
Right.
It actually made me feel pretty good last night.
It's a good turn for Dark Order because you don't want to hate those guys right now. And they weren't clicking that well as the heel like Brody was, but the rest of the unit hadn't really found their niche.
Yeah, and they're genuinely funny.
Right. And the stuff on BTE helped get them over, and I think that's where they need to live. They need to live in that sort of area.
Absolutely, they do.
And 2 weeks ago or whatever, Joe Sposto tipped us off to the -1 promo where he cut the promo on Luther and called him ugly, dumb head or whatever he said he had, and it was funny. I think it was 8 years old.
It was great because they immediately just goes cut the music. I'm
right,
like, this kid's a natural already.
And this segment was funny. John Silver's really funny, and then unfortunately Dr. Luther comes out and is not good at anything.
Yeah, he cuts like the typical promo,
which works.
Sick of AEW becoming a daycare center, and
but -1 cuts another promo on him, and it's really good and it's funny and it's an entertaining way to start a wrestling show. I did this segment. I liked. This was fun.
Yeah,
and I like when at the end when he was like, "My birthday was 3 days ago, you idiots."
Yeah, yeah. He canes the shit out of Luther.
Right.
Yeah. It was. Oh man, I'm sorry. It was just so much fucking fun. They start brawling. Finally, out comes Hangman Page, who just decides, fuck this shit. I'm gonna send it. It just dives onto everybody, which I'm like, see, that's the type of shit that makes Hangman like cool.
Yeah,
like it's cool. Leads into the match of Dark Order with Hangman Page going up against Luther, Serpentico, and TH2.
Yeah.
TH2, the afterthought. So Dark Order and Hangman get the win.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the match, Luther and Colt are fighting by the cake. Brody just fucking waffles him. Sends him into the cake. Yeah. Like, it was just, I don't know. I was having so much fun with it.
This match was a mess, except for, like, the -1 stuff. It was carried by Brody Jr. Yeah. And, like, legit. Like, I'm not saying that to, be like, it's everything that happened, you're going to sympathize with this kid. He's the most entertaining thing in this match.
Yeah,
It was just a little all over the place, and which is kind of a theme for the night. For me at least, but yeah, the -1 stuff, Brody Jr. stuff was the best stuff in this whole segment and match.
It was, I don't know, it was like legit fun and legit feel good stuff. So that made me real happy.
Yeah.
Out came Evil Uno and Grayson. They hold Serpentico. -1 just fucking cracks him with a fucking Singapore cane. That's when he goes, my birthday was 3 days ago, you idiots, and then throws the papers. Yep. Like, oh man, I don't know. It was just like I was real happy watching it,
Right.
John Silver gets the mic. He says to Paige, you're real good and you're real amazing.
Yeah.
And
hey, I like your hair.
Yeah.
You're real handsome.
Yeah, you're real handsome. I like you a lot.
Yeah.
And then he gets down on one knee and asks him to join the Dark Order.
Yeah.
To which Paige just kind of says, I can't.
Well, he starts to answer, and they shoot the yes. The celebration happens.
Yes.
He said yes. And Paige has to stop him.
It's so funny because, like, the minions start coming out from the back dancing, and Uno's like, get the fuck out of here. Man, it's so crazy how much I enjoy Dark Order now. Yeah. Paige just said, listen, like, I have fun with you guys, and I really like you guys, but, I tried to put this off. You forced me into it. Right. I did the whole group thing. It doesn't end well.
It doesn't work for me.
So he's leaving, and then Silver lets out an, Adam, no! Oh, man. Like, I liked to when Paige was leaving and he grabbed the bottle of booze out of Grayson's hand. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It was like a real good, it was just fun. It was fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
We go backstage and MJF is there and he says last thing he wants to do is like split up the inner circle and says, Jericho's not worried that this is going to happen. Jericho says this is going to bring us closer and that, no matter what, we're going to move on together, which I feel is just rehashed from a couple weeks ago. Right. And they just say that we're going to be the new AEW Tag Team Champions. Mm-hmm. So we go to the ring. Tony's there in his cool puffy vest. He introduces Sting. Then he introduces Darby. Mm-hmm. Sting starts talking to Darby. Just says, I see a lot of me and you.
Sure.
And, I think you're great. Yeah. Congratulations.
They're both blonde. They both surf.
Yeah.
They're both friends with RoboCop.
That is true. And then all of a sudden you hear Taz's sweet, sweet voice bellow through Daly's place. And he says, Stank! Stank, shut up, you bitch! And then him and Team Taz are up on the big screen. It's so funny that, like, Brian Cage was like the focal point when this began, and now I'm like, you're the least one I want to see.
Vanilla,
everybody.
Vanilla, complete vanilla.
They just say, like we've been fighting fair. Darby, you want to use your belt last week, mm-hmm. and Sting, you want to fight dirty too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from the streets. Look me up. I'm from Brooklyn. You're damn right you are, Taz. And says, we're street fighters. Stark says you can't see us in the streets, which is kind of hilarious. And then says, all right, you want to take this to the streets? Ball's in your court.
Yeah.
I'm like, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Darby grabs the mic and says, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Right.
And they walk off, and then today...
Spoiler alert, they got it.
It was announced for, what's the name of the pay-per-view, the next one? All right.
Hold on one second. I know it. Hold on. This is much harder. Revolution.
Okay, AEW Revolution.
February 27th.
All right.
2021. Location and venue to be announced.
Well.
I'm going to guess it's at Daly's place.
Well, I don't know how much longer they're going to be there.
Why?
I saw an article like a couple weeks ago saying that they don't know how much longer they're going to be there.
Where are they going to go?
I don't know. Somewhere indoors, maybe.
Oh, because everybody's been complaining about how cold it is in Florida.
Well, yeah, it's fucking January.
Because Florida's the dick of the United States.
Wow. All right.
Hi, Florida listeners. Sorry about that. Look at that. It looks like a wiener.
My name is Florida. So, yeah, it's going to be in a street fight.
Yes.
Sting and Darby against Cage and Starks.
Right.
Little upset it's not Taz and Starks, or Hook and Starks, or Hobbs and Starks.
Okay.
But we are going to get Sting in a match.
Listen,
in a theatrical match, I assume.
I don't think it's going to be a theatrical match.
No?
He doesn't have to bump. It's street fight.
That's true, yeah.
You don't have to bump that much. He can do the bumps where he gets hit into the wall and slides down the wall. He's not going to have to flat back.
That's true.
Darby can do all that shit. Sting can just get hit with weapons, taken out.
Yeah.
Taken out off to the side. They beat up Darby. Sting makes the save. He gets taken. Like they can completely work around in a regular street fight, which are already kind of cinematic anyway.
True.
Not like a stop, cut, edited kind of thing, but like you can kind of just follow them around. Nobody needs the flat back. Sting's not taking a back body drop onto a hood of a car.
What if he does?
Whereas someone like Taz, I don't think Taz could do any. I think his physical...
I don't think Sting could either.
I think Taz is in worse physical condition than Sting.
I agree, but
I think
both...
Right. Yeah. I think that Taz probably, I think he probably holds himself to a bit of a higher standard for wrestling than he's currently capable of doing.
He's not dumb.
You know, no,
he retired
exactly.
a long time ago.
Right.
He's
but
not
like,
dumb.
You know, I'm not saying this to be mean. Like, you know, Taz is much, much heavier than he was. And I always call him a baked potato and all that shit. But I'm saying, like,
Son of a bitch.
I think to get in a ring, I think Taz would hold himself to a standard that he can't really get to anymore.
And he knows
Sting is still in really good shape. You know, he's got the injuries and stuff, but they can work around that. I think holding Taz back from, I'm sure he'll get involved. We'll probably see Taz choke somebody out or do something safe, but I just think he probably holds himself to a bit of a higher standard that he's just not capable of reaching because of the extensive injuries that he's had throughout his life.
Taz's last match that he had?
Taz, I don't know, Sunday Night Heat against Crash Holly.
Nope.
I have no idea.
The second ECW One Night Stand against Jerry Lawler.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Taz came out, choked him out, and that was it.
Okay, well, match of the night.
I agree. Moving on, we're here with the Young Bucks. They arrive at Kenny Omega's house.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Marvez is just randomly there.
Of course he is.
Because he's a stooge.
Because he's a creep.
He's a creepy stooge.
Yes.
And has a fat head. They go looking through the house for Kenny. Nakazawa's there, and he's leading through the house.
Mm-hmm.
I found this really annoying for some reason when they're like literally turning a corner, like, "Oh, he's not in here.
Uh-huh.
Where is he?"
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, you literally just turn a corner, you fucks. That leads to a living space with the
living room. Yes, people call it. Yeah.
Well, you know, with the oil painting of Kenny Omega and Don Callis, shirtless, lots of abs, wearing blue jeans.
Yes.
When I saw that, I was like, that's going to be on a t-shirt, isn't it?
It's got to be.
They put everything else on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Listen, they won't listen to this before their episode is up and the image is out. But if Adam Van does not take that painting and put his head and Joe Sposo's head on it, I'm gonna
miss.
I'm gonna vote to have him removed from the soon-to-be-named network. I'm gonna file the articles.
Who's the governing board?
I have no idea.
Joe.
I'm gonna hire an independent counsel of Mr. Douglas Verdiglione.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's my lawyer and my doctor and my financial advisor
and my spiritual advisor. I like that.
Yes.
One Bunny Hathaway will also be on there.
Right.
And Jimmy Borda from Punta Gorda, Florida will also be there. Yeah. God damn it. Hi, Doug. In comes Don Callis, and they're like, what happened last week? He's like, oh, someone was in my ear. And I had to change it. Callis kind of starts running him down a little bit.
Right.
Just being like, oh, well, we tried to call Kenny. Oh, he changed his number a couple weeks ago. And so starts saying to them, like, listen, guys, you're old friends. I'm more than just a friend. I'm family.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, like, 12 years, that's a good investment you had for Kenny, but he's very busy, so let me cut you a check.
Right.
Writes him a check. I did like the line where, like, hey, we used to work at this place. We know you don't have this kind of money.
Right.
And then they started getting pissed. The one buck takes his jacket off, and Callis is like, listen, guys, I don't want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take your anger out on me.
Right.
And then I guess they end up taking their anger out on him.
I mean, to be honest, watching this, you could see it on their faces.
What emotion were the Young Bucks feeling?
They were mad. We're mad. They're mad. They're mad again. They were mad. Honestly, it's the most excited I get about the Bucks because otherwise this segment was a piece of trash and they're pieces of trash.
It was bad.
I like Callis's shit heel, like carny stuff. Like he's good at that.
Yeah, that's what he's good at.
But I'm just not invested in this at all. And this is another thing where like the Bucks segments always seem off from the rest of the show. Like they write it, they handle it, they handle all the producing of it, all that stuff themselves, and it seems completely disjointed from the rest of what AEW is trying to do. And I get that they're running this Impact thing, like that's the program, but it's also your world champion that is so disconnected from your regular show. It's off-putting to me.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying with that.
Maybe if they were better, like if the segments were more entertaining, if they were as funny as they thought they were, maybe I wouldn't feel so bad about it. But I'm just like, okay, this is just all weird and awkward. And like Michael Nakazawa is now Kenny's assistant.
It's just, for me, weird. The whole thing is like, it just feels super rushed.
Yeah.
How, like, the Bucks, I know, like, they reluctantly joined or whatever, but then it was the next week and they were getting fucked over already. Like, what? And what are we doing?
This is also now your tag champs and your world champ involved in a program that nobody else is getting involved in. Nobody else is really around at all. And they're trying, but it's just so weird to me, like...
it's weird, like, the infighting already. Like, it's just...
Well, and this, this whole show is a show without a title defense.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
It's weird.
You don't need to defend your titles every week. I'm fine with that.
Somebody should at least have, Darby's the only one who showed up in a ring with a title. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Well, it ain't going to be Shida, that's for sure.
No. Because there's only one 9:30 every day.
It was, all right, we'll get there. Next match, for some fucking reason, we have Pretty Peter Avalon going up against Cody Rhodes.
This is 8:36. I wrote this down because we're almost 40 minutes into this show. We've had one match that had its entertaining parts, but overall was bad. And the rest has been odd segments.
Just odd.
It's so weird. And then we get a match like that. So you say that, you don't need to defend your title every week. And I'm fine with that. But Cody Rhodes has to have a match every week.
Yeah, he's defending the Cody Rhodes title.
Even if he doesn't have a logical opponent and they just want to...
I'm not sticking up for him.
No, I know you're not. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, that's, what you said, like, they're not going to defend the title, but they make sure Cody has a match. And that's, it's upsetting. But yeah, it's against Pretty Peter Avalon, who has apparently been on a winning streak on Dark.
Well,
after losing to Brandon Cutler, who the Dragon Man they don't really show anymore, I guess.
So I saw a spot. I guess it was him versus Luchasaurus on Dark this week.
Avalon or Dragon Man?
Dragon Man.
Oh my God, Dragon versus Dinosaur?
Yeah, and he got fucking folded like a goddamn folding chair on his neck.
Okay.
Well, I was like, oh, he might be dead.
Okay.
That's not going to be the last time we talk about somebody's neck tonight.
Kurt Hennig can't be there always.
So, Peter Avalon versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody immediately hits the crossroads.
Yeah.
And then out comes Jade Cargill to distract him.
Uh-huh.
And Avalon kicks him in the dick.
Mm-hmm.
And it should have been roll up 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but nothing happens.
But it's not.
Nothing happens.
Because there's this weird trend in wrestling where distraction finish, like people get distracted, but they still win the match.
It doesn't cost them anything.
That was Undisputed Era and Fandango or Breezango last week, where I said, I'm like, why? Why even do that?
Right, it's dumb.
Yeah.
So this match goes 12 minutes. This is Cody versus Peter Avalon, and it goes 12 minutes. So at this point, we're now creeping up on the hour after this match, right? So that's my biggest issue with the distraction thing, right? Cody and Jade and Cody are in a feud because Jade attacked Brandy, but now that's gone because Brandy's off. She hits her up on Twitter still to keep the feud going, but then there's like the Shaq thing that there's no interplay back from Shaq at all.
Yeah.
But Cody doesn't like her. Cody's mad at her because of everything, whatever. So the distraction happens, and I'm like, okay, Peter Avalon's going to get the win here because that looks terrible for Cody. He's in no programs right now. One loss isn't going to affect his win-loss record. He's not going for any titles. They're not putting him into that picture anywhere. He's just in this feud with Shaq, which is going to be this feud they're going to pay off in a few months in a pay-per-view, I assume. So the loss here does nothing but further this story and give Cody a real reason to be pissed off at Jade. Because otherwise, she's just been a minor inconvenience. Yeah,
it would give him a reason to be like, hey, okay, now you're getting involved in my matches. Enough.
Now you're getting involved. Now I have a problem with you. If Shaq set you here, now I have a problem with him. But instead, gets the distraction, takes another 10, 11 minutes to beat Peter Avalon. And that's supposed to be what he's mad about, is that it took him that long to beat Peter Avalon? Put that loss on his record and create real drama. Create a real reason for a distraction. Create a real reason for this dumb gimmick where you're going to try and get Shaq in a wrestling ring. But instead, they chicken out because Cody won't take that L.
No,
Cody won't take that L no matter what. Of
course not.
No matter what. And it's awful. And I would praise this segment if Peter Avalon cheap shotted him and rolled him up and got the win, I'd be like, you're moving this the right way. You're taking a chance. Cody's willing to take an L to get people interested in a storyline. And instead, I had to watch a 12-minute match of a guy who's a worse wrestler than Cody. And Cody's not a good enough wrestler to carry bad wrestlers to a match. And maybe Avalon's not bad. Maybe he's just used bad. I don't know much about him as a wrestler on the indies. Obviously, he got signed for a reason. They like him for something. But this is a guy who, in this company, is way down the list compared to Cody. Both in Cody's mind and in actual wrestling ability. But Cody's not good enough to carry him to a good match. So it's just 12 minutes of floundering where I'm just going, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. Why is this happening? It
was real bad.
It's real dumb.
It's real bad.
It's just one of those things that don't make sense in wrestling. And maybe not everything in wrestling has to make sense, but that's an easy way to get heat, to give him a real reason to be mad, because we know Brandy's fine. Brandy's pregnant. They've dropped all that gimmick. She attacks her on Twitter, but we know Brandy's out pregnant, and they can say what they want, but Brandy's fine. So there's no more Brandy injury. There's no more beating Brandy up backstage.
Yeah,
that's all been wiped away. So you got to reignite the anger for somewhere, and it's just not there. It's not there.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. I really don't. It boggles me. It's fucking weird.
There's so many other ways you can, even if you don't want Cody to take the shoulders to the mat against Avalon, do anything. Have him try the distraction. The distraction doesn't work, and Jade come down and clock Avalon for one, and then it's an Avalon win by DQ.
Yeah,
anything. Anything
but what you did last night.
And that's a recurring theme with Cody. It's like anything else would be better.
It's true. We go to the back to FTR and Titty Blanchard. Saying how good they are, but they need the belts. In comes Jurassic Express. Jungle Boy towers over the fat, bald baby bitch.
Hey, they're the same height.
Sure.
Everyone in that room but Marco and Luchasaurus are 5'10".
And so are AJ Styles and Abyss.
AJ Styles is 5'11", according to the internet. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We all know in reality that he's at least 7 foot tall. He's the world's tallest professional wrestler.
Not a shade under.
Right.
So Jungle Boy basically says, like, hey, we wrestled last week.
Yeah.
I can hang with you. So you and me, Baldy, we're going to wrestle next week.
Yes.
And Luchasaurus was like, I'm going to be there, so make sure no one gets involved.
Yeah.
Great.
Weird.
Yeah. Next match we have is the returning Jon Moxley. Mm-hmm. His first match, I think they said, since the Omega match.
Yeah.
Going up against Nick Camarado.
Yes. Dark stalwart. Straight
out of what looks like Kensington, Philadelphia.
I believe that I once referred to this guy as Norman El Hijo del Norman the Lunatic.
You certainly did.
Because he looks like Norman the Lunatic, but like buffed up.
Yeah.
He got a really good look.
Yeah, he looks like he could be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Moxley wins in 4 minutes.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, for like a 4-minute match, though, it was fine.
I wish it was more of a squash, because Mox is supposed to be like super pissed off and crazy. So I wish Mox basically just would shoot him in the head with a gun that shot knives and pin him. But instead, we got a bit of a not competitive, but a 4-minute match that went a little against Mox.
See, I was all right with it though, because Camarado, how big he is, like he should be able to get some offense and not just be a powder puff.
Right, but Mox should have been crazed.
Put him up against somebody else then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true. I agree. Bad booking decision. That's what we would settle on. There you go.
All right. Moxley gets the mic. Just basically says things are getting crazy. I can't keep track of who's with who. I don't know who's in the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
But it makes it more interesting. I want more bodies, more violence, more blood, and that all roads in professional wrestling lead to him.
Yes.
So there's that.
Does that make sense? I guess so. New Japan's leading to him if he ever goes back there.
Yeah, New Japan does lead to him, so we'll see.
All right.
We go backstage. Eddie Kingston's getting interviewed with Butcher, Blade, and Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
He starts talking about the Pac match and says, you know what? I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
In comes Archer, who just so happens to be wearing his Suzuki Goon jumpsuit.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I went, okay. They just yell back and forth at each other that, they're going to kill each other, basically.
Right.
And Jake calls Butcher and Blade monkeys.
Yep.
So, All right.
Whatever.
So, next week, Kingston and Archer.
Hopefully Kingston can get the G1 kind of match out of Archer, and they just beat the shit out of each other.
That's true.
And it's not overbooked.
Yeah. We come back from break. Kenny is here doing his best impression of The Rock circa 99, wearing the expensive Gucci shirts. Kenny ignores Marvez and goes right into Callis.
Yeah.
Callis has a big old shiner.
Yep.
Kenny's asking, like, who did this to you? And Don's like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Don says Nick and Matt. And he goes, oh, no, I didn't want to say their names.
Right.
And then Marvez comes in and goes, did they do this to you? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And they get chased out of the locker room.
Right.
Next match. Oh, boy. Matt Sydal and Top Flight.
Uh-huh.
Going up against Matt Hardy and Private Party.
Mm-hmm.
This thing goes about 12 minutes.
I have one note for this match. You want to know what it is?
Hit me with it.
No.
Matt Hardy and Private Party get the win.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the biggest takeaway from this was one of the dudes from Private Party hitting Matt Sydal with a chair that cost them the win. And then after the match, Sydal and Top Flight confront them, and Private Party and Matt Hardy beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So Private Party officially, that's their turn, I guess?
I guess so, except for when they're on Impact fighting also
Well, and that's what I was going to say is that now you have that weird heel versus heel dichotomy, which I don't know. I hate that, but
I don't know who said it. I heard it earlier this week from a wrestler in an interview, and I don't remember who it was or where it was or how old it was. But I've heard it before, but they said, don't do anything at the beginning of your match that you then can't do at the end of your match.
That's very smart because guess what? This wasn't good.
No. They cannot do a lot of things. And it happened a little bit earlier on the show too. But like a lot of half botches.
Yeah.
A lot of things where guys were gassed or guys didn't get quite in the right position. A lot of good things I could say about Top Flight in the past. Private Party's had some decent things here and there. Sydal doesn't do anything for me. Matt Hardy, I wish he would go away. But this match was not good. This showed the experience of Sydal and Hardy could not carry the inexperience of Private Party and Top Flight out of this match.
Yep.
And for all the cool stuff they can do, they don't know how to slow it down. They don't know. It just...
Well, it also didn't help that JR was just openly burying this on commentary.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of, the funny thing about that, Britt Baker did an interview, not on the show, but I read it today, and they asked her about, she was supposed to be the face of the women's division. Like, she was supposed to be the good guy and the top centerpiece babyface of the women's division. She's like, what happened? And she's like, it didn't work. She's like, I have two jobs, pro wrestler and dentist. They're two top A level dream job. Like all this stuff didn't really work. And she's like, and also on commentary, JR would remind everyone that I'm a dentist 20 times a match, and people started to hate it.
Well, yeah.
And she's like, so she goes, and I like JR, but it's his fault. She's like, whether she was joking or not, she's like, I blame him because he said I was a dentist so much that everyone started to hate it.
Good for her.
JR stinks. We've been saying that for a long time. He is not the man he once was.
No, he needs to go.
He needs to walk away.
But yeah, this whole match, it was a fucking train wreck.
Disaster.
It's just not good at all.
No.
We go backstage. MJF goes to the Inner Circle locker room, planting those seeds, saying like, hey guys, I didn't want to do this. This is Chris's idea.
Right.
I don't want to fight you guys.
I've been saying from the beginning, once Jericho's able to get out on the road and get COVID, not get COVID the second time.
Yeah.
MJF's going to be in charge of this company. In charge of this little group.
Yeah, because Sammy gets in his face and is like, listen, if I had it my way, a lot of these things wouldn't be happening.
Right.
And MJF still just kind of pushes it on Jericho. Like, hey, listen, I didn't want this. I love all of you guys. I want to be family with all of you guys.
Right.
And he's like, listen, I'm not a sociopath. I'm coming from a good place. Fist bumps everybody and then goes to fist bump Sammy. It's just like, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we go to a shot of Orange Cassidy being in the crowd, which I was like, please get out of the crowd. Why are you in the crowd?
Right.
Just go away from the crowd, please. And out comes fucking Miro and Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
And Penelope Ford, because Penelope Ford's going to have a match with Layla Hirsch.
Right. It's supposed to be Nyla.
Oh, yeah. Does she have COVID?
She does not. She doesn't have it confirmed, but she was around someone who had it, so she pulled herself to be safe. Because she was a family member she was around told her they tested positive, so she pulled herself. I don't think we've gotten a test either way. I don't know that we ever will. I don't care. It's responsible of her to pull herself.
Yeah.
And, it's the right decision. And I guess Penelope Ford is the only one they had around to fill in.
Apparently. And out with them comes Charles Taylor.
Yes.
The butler Charles Taylor.
Yes.
Penelope versus Layla. It goes like 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Penelope wins.
Completely uninspired professional wrestling match.
And you know why? I could tell it was uninspired because I didn't give a fuck.
Completely uninspired. I like Layla, and she did some stuff in the match. Like, she does her things. I like her suplexes, all that kind of stuff. Again, she needs to be a member of Team Taz. But I think maybe her Nyla maybe would have been better because I would hope that Nyla would let her suplex her a little bit and you'd see Layla really toss around someone who's much larger than her.
Sure.
And I don't think Penelope's a bad wrestler. She's had some good matches here and there. Just uninspired. Thrown together last minute. They just didn't, This whole match became, instead of that sort of thing, it just became, let's just get through this so we can get to the Charles Taylor stuff.
Yeah, and also... I looked at the time when this match was coming on.
Yeah.
It was 9:30.
Right. Of course it is.
And it's funny because I guess Omega did an interview this week where he said, the day when the women get more time on Dynamite, I will have the biggest smile on my face.
Yeah.
So, that's him basically being like, it's out of my hands. I can't do anything about it.
Right.
And I know a lot of people have been like, yeah, this is because Tony Khan does not like women's wrestling.
Right.
And he's proving that he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
If he's booking the show, he's proving he doesn't like it and he doesn't care about it.
Same spot, one match every week. That's it. Your champion gets to further her story every other week because he puts one other match on there.
Yeah.
It's insane. And there's so much fat on these shows, particularly this week, that easily could have fit other women matches in here.
And we forgot to mention, too, that before this match, they announced that there's going to be the AEW Women's Title Tournament.
Yeah.
Which it was weird because one side of the bracket had the American flag and the other side of the bracket had the Japanese flag.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I guess everybody's going to start coming back. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I guess they're going to have that tournament. So,
listen, this company could only benefit from Emi Sakura and all this other, and a bunch of the other women coming back.
Yeah.
Not you, Shanna. But even Rio at this point, what was the little, who was the littler girl with the Yuki?
I don't want to.
Anyway, but they would inject good back into this,
Yeah.
But we don't see Swole. We don't see Britt Baker unless she's cutting promos. It's odd.
Yeah, it's weird. But after this match, Miro's in the ring and he calls for Charles the Butler to get in there.
Yes.
And says I'm a nice guy, but I need to take you places you haven't been. Mm-hmm. He grabs him and says to look over at your George Michael wannabe best friend and tell him that I am now your best friend. To which Chucky T has to do it. Orange takes his glasses off. He just looks over and walks away. Looks very dejected. Mm-hmm. God, I just don't care.
I
don't.
I don't care. I like that they're building Orange Cassidy to something. Clearly he's going to wrestle Miro. For Chucky T.
I will say, Miro's gear last night was pretty great. He looked like an 80s drug dealer from Miami.
Yes, he looked like he was in Vice City.
He totally did.
But yeah, it's not great. I think Miro Orange Cassidy could be great, the match.
Could be.
But yeah, they're throwing something together because they got kind of upended with Trent's injury, but...
Yeah, I guess
so. Not great.
We go backstage, and Gallows and Anderson are beating the shit out of Penta. Totally Penta.
Yes.
Who just so happened to not have his hand tattoos or his arm tattoos.
Right. He got it removed.
Yeah.
He's wearing makeup.
They all got removed last week. Totally was Penta that they were beating up. Omega comes out of nowhere and takes off his, like, wild Prince boots that he was wearing and jabs it into Penta's eye.
Yes.
So there was that. Great. Next match, main event time. Santana and Ortiz versus Hager and Sammy Guevara versus MJF and Chris Jericho. There was a Sammy Hager promo for Sammy.
Yes, there was.
For Sammy and Hager.
Nothing says leading wrestling company, revolutionizing the business with getting a promo from the Red Rocker.
Which totally wasn't probably just a cameo that they bought.
Right.
I
hope it was a cameo they bought.
Oh, it totally was. Absolutely.
I hope Sammy Hagar also had to do one for All Elite Scooby-Doo.
Oh, God. Oh, the pain I feel.
Listen, at this point, I don't know if you've been watching the stuff that Taker's been up to this week.
No, but, I just completely ignored it.
So, just a sidebar. He did some interview burying current WWE and their product.
Well, yeah, it's because he was on a certain podcast doing
right,
that.
And said that they're all wimps now. They play video games. Because when he started, the men came in with guns and knives in their bags, and now they're playing video games.
Cool, man.
Great, yeah, that sounds awesome. I really want a gun pulled on me at my job.
Yeah.
Sounds a ton of fun there, dude. I like to reminisce about those days, and I agree. Wrestlers used to be men, but they also used to be complete and utter scumbags.
Yeah.
Like, they all should have been in jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, all this other stuff that he's doing. So at this point, doing a cameo for All Elite Scooby-Doo is elevated from where he is right now.
In the eloquent words of one Steve Mongo McMichael, this place is apropos.
I ain't talking about dicking around in the dirt with farming implements, baby. Yeah, it's insane.
I did like that Xavier Woods kind of like tweeted about it.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that part,
he was saying about like he's like, yeah, like he wanted to thank like one of the older wrestlers or whatever. He goes, because we learned from their mistakes, and it's okay to be playing video games. Thanks. So good for him.
Listen, New Day are
the best people ever.
They're the best. They
just are.
I hope to God they don't ever ruin their reputation in some weird way. But they're
just the best.
They're great guys.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna steal a gimmick. They're good place. So
there you go.
Listen to Final Wrestling Place. I'll plug them later.
Yes. Well, this match.
Not in the good place.
No, bad place. 12.5 minutes.
Yeah.
MJF and Jericho get the win when MJF rolled up Hager, I believe it was. Or Sammy, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What a fucking train wreck.
So, again, don't do anything at the beginning of the match that you then can't do at the end of the match. That happens a bunch. Sammy botches his shooting star. It was an elbow across the shins. And then... Oh, Christopher Jericho.
Yep.
Mr. Irvine, listen. I said this earlier. If you don't know the clip of Kurt Hennig saving Jericho's life on a lion salt, it's been gift to hell. Look it up. As soon as Jericho left his feet, I was like, he ain't getting this. Yeah. It was obvious. He was gassed. He's a 50-year-old guy.
He tried taking Sammy's finish too.
Yeah.
And nope, couldn't do it.
He was gassed. He's done. Jericho is on one of the quickest declines I've ever seen in professional wrestling.
And as a human being.
I've seen quicker. Yeah. So I gasped because I've seen the lion salt go horribly wrong for people who are much more talented than Chris Jericho is at this point.
Yeah. Poor Hayabusa.
And my obligation is that this match did in fact end with a roll up. And my obligation is, and if you've listened to this show in the past, the Dude scale dictates that a roll up finish gives you +3 stars. Now this is uncharted territory.
Are you gonna break your own rules?
I'm not breaking my own rules. It gets +3 stars. But nobody ever said that it had to start at 0.
Okay. All right.
So this match gets a 1 star. That's with the +3.
It was just such a fucking mess.
Without a roll-up finish, this is a -2 match.
It was bad. It was real bad, and they were super pressed for time.
Right.
Because, like, at the end, like literally, they counted to 3, and the copyright logo came up. Like,
and there's, I thought it was so close, I thought it was going to end in no finish. And, like, I thought it was going to be, we won't know. So
at that point, I probably would have been better off.
Jericho MJF winning is dumb because again, you're burying your actual tag team.
Yeah, stupid.
They're a non-factor in this company, and they're two of the most talented, entertaining wrestlers
they really
in the company, and especially in the tag team division.
Yep.
But you're going Jericho MJF because clearly there's going to be the falling out there or something. They're working something there. But I was like, okay, what's going on? It was a disaster and rushed. And there was so much fat on this show that you could have trimmed to play this out better. So many little promos, cut the Buck stuff back by a couple minutes, like all that stuff. Cut the sight gags with Michael Nakazawa out of the stuff. Like you can figure this out way fucking more.
Yeah.
To rush your main event, this was a bizarre wrestling show, and this was a bad main event.
Yeah, it was
even aside from Jericho almost killing himself. This was a bad show.
Yeah, it's just
a bad match. I don't want to spoil for later.
It just wasn't. It wasn't good. Like,
nope.
I didn't really have interest going into it, and the whole time I didn't have interest. The most exciting thing was when Jericho almost fucking spiked himself.
I gasped. I was terrified for him. Terrified.
Yeah, that's a word to use.
Terrified of him. Terrified for him.
It was. It just wasn't good. Best part about it was MJF wearing his Chris Candido tribute tights.
Right. But like it's just again just a bunch of guys getting gassed. Hager is not good at what he does.
Poor Santana and Ortiz. Right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Poor those guys. It's a fucking travesty.
At least they're getting action figures.
Yeah, good for them.
Sammy.
Yeah.
I hope Sammy has the chase and comes with the panda head.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Remember the panda head?
Remember how awful that was?
Yeah.
Remember Vest Count?
I do remember Vest Count.
And how that lasted all of that week?
Yeah. I kept Vest Count going for 2 weeks at least. And then I brought it back 3 weeks later for 1 week. I was doing Blink Count on Dexter Loomis too.
You certainly were.
He still hasn't blinked though, so that's the easy one. Everybody still wears a fucking vest.
Yeah, so that was the end of Dynamite.
Oh, man.
Time to switch over to the USA Network.
USA Network.
For NXT. So, admittedly, last night, I was watching the Sixers Celtics game. I have to.
That's fine. Who's on the Celtics? I don't want to sidebar. It's too bad. Who's on the Celtics?
Okay, we could talk about that. Celtics have Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
Kemba Walker.
I don't know any of those names.
Really?
Maybe I know Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker's really
Dude, I've been watching basketball for only a season
That's
or two
true.
now.
They also have Marcus Smart. I'm just trying to name notable players. That I know who else they have. Tristan Thompson. He came over from Cleveland.
I know that name.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came over from Cleveland.
Okay.
That's really all.
Did Tristan Thompson date a Kardashian?
He did. That's why you know him. I love and hate you.
Not that I know anything about the Kardashians, because I really, really don't. But for whatever reason, I knew that they probably had some drama at some point.
Yeah, because it's so fucked up that I know this.
Yeah.
He was dating Chloe.
Are we becoming a Kardashian podcast right now?
I will. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
He was dating Chloe.
Okay.
He cheated on Chloe.
With Kim?
No, no, with one of the younger sisters, best friends or some shit.
What? I don't know. Whatever.
Listen, when you're seeing somebody who fills you in on all this shit,
yeah,
this is
there you go.
This is what I this is Brett now.
Podcast official.
Easy.
All right, so we can move on. The Sixers are awesome. Go Sixers!
Fuck yeah, let's go Sixers. So
NXT.
Yeah, NXT started off with the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic quarterfinal match.
Did you know they were doing these on 205 Live?
No, I did not know, because when the bracket popped up, I went, "Wait, when the fuck did that happen?"
Did you know that they had Killian Dane wrestle on 205 Live?
Okay, I'm all about that. Let's just make that a thing. Can we just make that a thing?
Him and Maverick had their match on 205
I just want Killian Dane to run roughshod over 205.
Just beating up 205 people.
Oh, it'd be great.
It's just him walking around backstage. How much you weigh?
Yeah.
204 pounds.
Him just like headbutting the Bollywood boys.
Right. I think that's who they wrestled.
Get the fuck.
I think that's who they beat in the first round.
I hate myself for that. Yeah, it was. God damn it.
Killian Dane is the closest they've ever come to getting me to watch 205 Live, but I did not watch 205 Live.
Well, yeah, like when I noticed on the bracket, I'm like, wait a minute. What the fuck?
You know?
That's crazy.
Why not?
But you had the team of Rough Hour, which is Leon Ruff and Kushida, going up against Johnny Gargano.
Ain't nobody understanding the words are coming out of your mouth.
Johnny Gargano and that scumbag.
Yep.
Thankfully, I started this about 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
And I got to fast forward right till like the finish of the match, which the finish of the match was Kushida doing like a bridging hammerlock suplex for the fucking win, which, not gonna lie, shocked by that.
So, I watched this match. You warned me, said I could fast forward through it. I watched it because I like Kushida, and I was like, maybe Redacted won't get that involved. And I would have ended this match about 5 minutes earlier than it did. But I'm very glad with the way it ended. Like, Kushida is on a hot streak. Ruff looked good. Shocked that Gargano lost. I mean, those are, big guys right now. That's the champ. Kushida gets the win. Pins Gargano. So
if we're going by New Japan rules, you pin the champ, you get a future title shot, which they were building to anyway.
Gargano Kushida is a feud I will love to see.
Oh God, yeah.
But Austin Theory can get the fuck off my TV.
I agree. We have a Pete Dunne vignette saying that him and Finn, they are cut from the same cloth. However, Finn left while Pete stayed and built an entire brand.
Okay.
All right.
What brand?
Assuming NXT UK.
Okay.
Because that's a thing that exists still.
That's what they tell me.
We get an interview with Big Baby Malcolm Bivens.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that in the good way, not baby bitch FTR guy. He's putting over Tyler Rust.
There was a Karrion Kross vignette before this, but we're good.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how memorable it was, huh? Tyler Rust comes out of Regal's office and said, I got my match with Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
And Bivens said, this is not the route to go.
They were supposed to go together. Bivens was like,
I'm
waiting for Rust. We're going to go talk to Mr. Regal. And then he gets to the door and Rust comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, so more on that later.
Yes.
Next match we have Ashanti the Adonis, a.k.a. Cousin
That's
Tahuti.
Cousin Tahuti. It will always be Cousin Tahuti to me.
Forever,
At this
Cousin
point,
Tahuti.
If you haven't been listening to this show for 8 months, whenever he made his debut, that makes no sense to you.
But it makes sense to you and I, so
it makes sense to us. It is an inside joke on the podcast. Yep. I apologize, but Ashanti, the Adonis, is going to be Cousin Tahuti.
Forever.
Forever.
In the words of Terry Funk, forever.
Forever.
Well, he's going up against Karrion Kross.
Yes.
Bing, a bang, a boom, death. Karrion Kross wins in a minute.
So, two things. One, Scarlett continues to look dumb. The overact everything, it does not work for me. She's stunning.
Yeah, she's insanely attractive.
When she comes out and she's got weird stuff on her face, and I'm just like, and doing like the really extra open wide mouth like lip sync, I'm like, I'm done. Like, this is dumb. Like, you are a stunning person who is escorting a monster to the ring.
Remember the first time that when he made his entrance and she did the lip sync and I said, this is real fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get any better.
It didn't get any better. Because when it cuts to him, like when you're following her,
it's
when
cool.
it's all red and it cuts to him, I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah,
like, that dude looks like a killer.
It's a cool
but
visual.
Her stuff is lame. And like, she is stunning. So like, just work with that.
Be you, girl.
But anyway, the other thing, my number 2 about this match, my 1B, if you will.
Okay.
I don't want Cross anywhere near that title right now. I want him on a 3 to 6 month squash run.
Okay.
You want
to build him up to be an extra killer?
I want him to be fed guys like this for weeks. Just murder. Like, don't jump back to that title. You're doing stuff with Finn. You're mixing all that in. I know it was shitty circumstances. He would have had that title. He would have held it for a few months. Yeah. He would have dropped it, and he would have been in the Rumble.
Absolutely. Like, and he should.
It's what would have happened. Yep. Like, Cross is a guy that's polished enough to be on the main roster. He's got the look. He's got the size. He's got the ability. But now, super killer. Squash him. Squash out guys. You know, you got plenty of people you can feed him. You know, Cousin Tahuti, isn't anywhere on the card. He's doing good on 205 Live from what I understand, like all that. So he's around, but he's not anywhere on this NXT card. He's not high ranking. I'm not saying have him crush Bronson Reed or don't have him go after a Loomis or anything.
Yeah.
Just these guys that you don't see too much of, younger guys that we recognize, that kind of stuff. Just have him kill him. Yeah. And then have him go after the title, win the title, and then you can move on from there. But keep him out of that picture for a few months. He doesn't need it right now.
Yeah, because then after the match, he jumps Cousin Tahuti's partner, Desmond Troy,
right,
and just chokes him out in about 2 seconds.
Right.
Like, that's perfect.
Right.
That's perfect.
Next week, have him against him or have him against both of them.
Yeah.
Squash him out.
Yeah, just
boom,
beat
done.
The shit out of both of them.
Build a killer.
Yeah. We got a vignette for MSK.
Yeah.
It didn't really explain anything about who they were.
Nothing.
It was just like, hey man, we wrestle.
I'm wondering. I still don't know what MSK stands for. I think maybe it's Fear the Revolution. Nope.
I don't know.
Fuck the Revive. No. For the Rule. No. I don't know what it stands for. But anyway, they're doing a Borat impression. To open,
yeah, because that's a very timely reference.
It's a Borat 1 reference, also, everyone.
I didn't even watch the second Borat. Did you?
No, I have no interest. No. It's 2020. I don't need to watch the second Borat. But I something about me makes me like these guys. I'm like, oh, you know, like something there. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Marijuana.
Yes, marijuana. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I wish they explained who they were a little bit. The whole well, you know these guys from Impact. No, I don't. So don't.
That's true. It's just like, no, I don't.
Definitely do not. So, so maybe just explain them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you can say on commentary, "Oh, these guys are awful rascals," but it doesn't help any. I don't know anything about them. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We get another promo, this time Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm, saying, like, we don't need to be friends. We're just two badasses who are going to win this whole cup thing.
Right.
Which, kind of true.
It's a good team.
Yeah. Next match we have in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic quarterfinals.
Yeah.
We have Imperium going up against the Lucha House Party.
Yes.
This thing goes 13 minutes. Lucha House Party won.
Shocker again.
Shocker, what a mess. I thought this match was a mess.
The continued theme of half botches.
Yeah.
Just stuff not
Something
connecting.
was in the water last night.
It was all over. Florida is poisoning people. Just half botches again. And so yeah, like in this matchup, they're a good pairing. The bigger Imperium guys, basing for the Lucha guys, eating all that sort of stuff, grounding them. It just didn't work. But I do like the result. I like the end. So I like the end because it's a surprise.
It's a surprise end
because we get Alexander Wolf on the ramp afterwards, which means Walter's definitely coming.
When that happened, when I saw them stop, I gasped because I thought Walter was going to be there.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, my baby has come home. But then I realized, oh wait, Walter hates America.
Right. And the other thing, so the Legado del Fantasma also had their first tag match on 205 Live.
Did they win?
They did.
Oh, good.
And the next bracket is them versus Lucha House Party.
Oh, okay.
So this also continues that storyline.
That was happening, wasn't it?
Right. So, and I like weave it in and out. That makes sense. I wish I knew who they beat. Oh, they beat. I think they beat Kurt Stallion, right? Because Kurt Stallion came out. When does that happen?
You're jumping the gun?
I'm jumping the gun. That happens later. Yeah, that happens later. But yeah, so they had their match. I think Kurt Sally and somebody else. So it interweaves back and forth. I like the surprises so far in the cup, because if you're not gonna use the Dusty Cup to build a new tag team and get a tag team that wasn't in the top,
then what the hell are you doing it for?
So,
yeah, it was definitely a shock ending.
Right.
I was very surprised by it.
Yeah.
But the match itself, I was just like, God, what a fucking train wreck. Earlier today, they did the weigh-ins for the fight pit.
I hate that shit.
What?
The weigh-ins for the fight pit.
Why, man? Darby did a weigh-in. Him and
Cage. I didn't like that either.
What about when Jericho and Moxley did a weigh-in? And
Jericho got legit to keep 1 foot off the scale.
Jericho got legit split the fuck open.
Yeah. Jericho got to keep 1 foot off the scale because AEW doesn't have a super heavyweight division.
Golly. Ciampa weighed 201 pounds and Thatcher weighed 225 pounds, just so you know.
Right. You know what the weirdest thing about this was for me? That Ciampa stopped shaving his head.
Dude, like...
It's probably better because the hair will protect those veins. But
it's so fucking funny because my first thought was, "Is this what Doug looks like without shaving his head? Is this why Doug shaved his head?" I love you, Doug.
Oh my god! Again, nobody is going to understand at all. He'll be on the show again someday.
I love that man. So before the Women's Dusty Cup begins, Regal's out there. Oh yeah, by the way, Beth Phoenix is there now.
Oh yeah, Beth. We forgot to mention she's back in house.
Yeah, which makes me think main roster shit. I'm sure Edge probably ain't far behind. I don't know. I know he tore his bicep, but that's been a while now. Right. So who knows if he'll be back on wrestling? You know, my favorite wrestler, Adam Copeland.
It's true.
They just build up like the history of the NXT women and shit, which I thought was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
They had all like the teams out on the stage, including
the new signs.
Yeah, Gigi Dolan.
Gigi Dolan.
Mickey
Dolan's. Gigi Allen, and it's a punk rock and monkeys.
The punk rock monkeys.
Yes.
Women's Dusty Rhodes
that was
Tag
the Sex
Team.
Pistols. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus. Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic quarterfinals. We have Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter going up against Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm.
Yeah.
This thing goes about 13 minutes. And in a fucking upset, I'll say, Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter get the win.
Right.
I love this because it's the established tag team beating the two people thrown together the way it goddamn should be.
I'll tell you what, this is a spoiler for the end of the show. I watched AEW first, this second. This is so far the best wrestling match that happened on a Wednesday night.
I thought it was really good.
It's good.
You had Io coming out and murdering Mercedes Martinez to get her revenge. Casey Catanzaro hitting that like
insane
weird screwed sit down senton or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I upset finish like an upset. Like, fuck.
Another surprise.
Yes, let's do this shit.
Right. I've liked Carter since the first time we saw her, wrestling ability and otherwise, and Catanzaro. I really like American Ninja Warrior.
Yes, you do.
And so I know her from there. And this is an established tag team who are wildly undersized in this match.
Yeah.
Against two badasses. Toni Storm wearing her Cactus Jack boots.
Love that.
And this is an upset that works because Martinez doesn't lose any heat because Io took her out. That continues that.
Yep.
But it gives all to Carter and Catanzaro. They can run with this now. They have the momentum. I thought everybody looked good in this match. I enjoyed this a lot, and the finish was insane and like super gifable.
Yeah,
which is what they need. That's how you get over in wrestling right now.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
And did you see Martinez did an interview about why she left? What the hell's the name of that group? Retribution.
No, I didn't.
She didn't like get into it, but she was just like, it wasn't for me, so I just told him I wasn't going to do it.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
He's like, I would rather be back here sort of building this division and doing what I can here.
You know what? Good for her.
And she's like, it just wasn't for me and it didn't fit. And I was like, it ain't fitting for nobody.
No,
you just had
she wasn't
she
wasn't a big fan of T-bar and Slapjack and
yeah.
White Jack. Oh,
God. She's not going on Twitter accusing anybody of stealing wrestling moves. You know what I mean?
That was so dumb.
How dumb. Children.
Yeah.
This is why The Undertaker hates you. Among a lot of other reasons.
I can think of one other reason.
Yeah.
God damn him. Finn Balor goes to William Regal.
What a meteoric ruining of your legacy. I said before that Jericho was on like an incredible decline.
They're just like neck and neck.
Like Undertaker spent 50 years never breaking kayfabe. Like 60 years. He spent 3/4 of his life never breaking character, not doing shit. And then in 6 months, he was like, nah, fuck it. Where's All Elite Scooby-Doo? I hope All Elite Scooby-Doo doesn't listen to this show. I don't mean in a shot towards All Elite Scooby-Doo.
No, I do.
I mean as a shot towards The Undertaker.
That motherfucker is the one who dressed up in the front row, Scooby-Doo.
Literally selling his
at
soul.
AEW.
No.
Fuck him. Leave it home. You fuck. God damn it.
No, it is a much, much bigger grievance I have with Undertaker selling his soul to
All Elite Scooby-Doo.
I have to say, like, Granny, I understand that you're the biggest Undertaker fan in the world. Is an amazing...
People paid $1,000 a piece for that shit.
It's an amazing decline.
What are we fucking doing with our lives?
It's an amazing decline of character.
Go buy something else.
And I mean that in both wrestling character and the character of the man doing it.
Buy some groceries. Don't spend $1,000 on a fucking cameo.
I mean, I ain't gonna tell anybody how to spend their money.
No, I am. Fuck that. Assholes. Anyway.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
Getting fired up.
You are getting fired up.
Finn Balor is with William Regal.
Is a walk and talk. The old wrestling walk and talk.
The famous wrestling walk and talk. Says he wants Pete Dunne, but he knows that he has to beat up Danny and Oni first.
Yeah.
Regal says, I get it, but I got to protect my champion. Mm-hmm. You got a partner. You got your match.
Okay.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Bronson Reed's walking to the ring.
You skipped the Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter interview, pal.
Oh, did I? Did that happen already?
Yeah, they came out and they were like, we got it. We're winning the whole thing. We set the precedent. Yada, yada, yada. Good for them.
Good for them.
I honestly hope they make it through another match.
That would be nice. Bronson Reed's walking to the ring. Swerve Scott shows up and talks to him, but you can't hear it.
Yeah.
Which, like they come back from break and they're like, oh, hey, this is what Swerve Scott said to him. Mm-hmm. I'm like, way to waste TV time, assholes. We also get the news that Cousin Tahuti is hurt and can't continue in the tournament.
What a shame.
More on that later.
Mm-hmm.
Next match, Bronson Reed versus Tyler Rust.
Yeah.
This thing goes less than 5 minutes. Bronson Reed beats him up.
What an odd thing.
See, though, all right, so I like it.
Because it's proving that Bivens is right.
Yeah. So, and during the match, they went backstage because Io and Tony were fighting.
Sure.
It wasn't not Mercedes and Tony, but now Io and Tony. I don't know. But yeah, Reed wins, and I loved it afterwards because how Bivens like, okay, listen, let me pick your battles for you to Tyler Rust. And Rust is like, you know what? You're right. Mm-hmm. And that's perfect. That builds character. Like, buys in that Bivens is like, we tried it your way and it didn't work. Listen to me.
I don't think it was bad. It was odd. The match itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get your point. I see that's what they were trying to do. It's interesting. I don't know that I love it, but I get it and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. They interview Finn and says, it's time that some people owe me a favor, so time to cash in. He enters Undisputed Era's locker room and he wants Kyle O'Reilly to be his partner. He said, unless you're still drinking out of a straw, which that would convince me to be somebody's partner if they need me.
Well, he challenges manhood.
So
his jawhood.
Let me join up with you, brother.
Right.
His hoghood.
Listen here, brother.
I was happy with Roddy. He's like, hey, man, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And Adam Cole's like, Roddy, shut the fuck up.
Right.
So
where's Fish? Is he hurt? Is he in a Q hole somewhere?
Too many Q pills.
Okay.
Fucking idiot. We go to the arena. Santos Escobar's cutting a promo about being the cruiserweight champ.
Yeah.
And says that people around here act like champions when they're not. And he mentions Karrion Kross, which I was like, well, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because, like, by your theory, Karrion Kross should just come out and murder all three of them.
Right. And they're cruiserweights, so rightfully so. For at least the tag team, and then Legado can get a little offense. But.
Yeah. He puts over Mendoza and Wild, saying that they're going to win the Dusty Cup.
Good.
Lucha House Party comes out. We have a brawl. Escobar's walking away. But then finally, like, Lucha House Party's in trouble, so he comes back. And then Kurt Stallion runs out and trips him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because Kurt Stallion wrestled, I'm pretty sure, in the Dusty Cup match. I think it was him and somebody else who I don't know.
All right. I mean,
I just don't cross over into 205. It just don't work for me.
Something I'm not going to do.
No.
Drake Maverick and Killian Dane are interviewed about facing MSK in the next round. Basically says Drake's like, we're best friends. Dane shoots him a fucking side eye and says, hey, your promo was pretty good, and we'll see them next week.
Sure. Main
event time. We're entering into the pit. The fight pit.
Not the ball pit.
No. Welcome to the ball pit.
Fight pit.
We're in the fight pit. It's a pit where we fight, motherfucker.
You don't start in the pit, though. You got to make it into the pit.
That's true. Timothy Thatcher going up against Tommaso Ciampa and his lovely hair that he has going.
Why do you think he stopped shaving his head?
I don't know, but I like it.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Why
not?
Okay.
You know why? Because he's so focused on training.
Okay.
Man.
I like it.
You know?
I like it.
He doesn't care what he looks like.
Yeah. I'm here for that.
Yeah. Timothy Thatcher wins in 14 minutes. It started out kind of slow.
Yeah.
I thought.
The fight pit is a weird thing.
At the end of, like, towards the end, though, the last, like, couple of minutes, I thought it got really good.
It's a weird thing because you do start up on that raised level and you got to fight your way through it. Like, it was a thing that worked for two guys with that certain style when it was Riddle and Thatcher.
Yeah.
Ciampa is tough guy, but not that sort of legit fighter kind of guy.
It is kind of funny how much bigger Thatcher looks than Ciampa.
Right.
Like when they're next to each other, I'm like, damn, he does look a lot bigger.
Right. But yeah, it did. I thought it was, they went into the pit during commercial break, which I thought was weird.
Again, man, TV wrestling fucking kills me when that happens.
But I thought it was okay overall because the start was kind of odd.
Yeah.
And then Ciampa just kind of got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, Thatcher started beating him up.
Yeah.
Ciampa got stuck in the cage with his knee brace. Thatcher threw on a stretch muffler. I was like, all right, Brock lock, baby. Ciampa tapped out.
Brock lock.
You're damn right it was. Ciampa tapped out.
Yeah.
After the match, they stared each other down, and I like how commentary's like, I don't know if this is out of hate or out of respect. Which leads us into, they announced today that since Cousin Tahuti can't continue in the Dusty Classic, Thatcher and Ciampa teaming up.
It's interesting that they wouldn't just give Cousin Tahuti's partner a new partner.
Well, because he got jumped after the match, too, by Cross. Yeah. I understand it wasn't as bad, but he still got beat up. So, yeah, we're going Thatcher and Ciampa in the Dusty Classic.
I mean, they'll probably make a run. I like the idea of enemies sort of, respecting each other enough to kick other people's asses.
Well, it almost reminded me of, like...
It's very 80s movies.
Movie of them. Raw a couple years ago when Foley was the GM, and he had Sheamus and Cesaro do, like, the Best of 7 series.
Yeah, right.
For them to be like, okay, now they respect each other, you're a tag team, and boom, they won the tag team titles. Yeah. Like, I like that. I don't know if it's going to happen here. Maybe. Who knows?
They could have a pretty good run.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But, yeah, that was all of NXT.
That's it.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you the questions.
Shit.
Match from each show, match overall, and show overall.
All right. Man. This is a rough one.
Okay.
This was a rough week of professional wrestling.
Okay.
Between these two shows. This was like a night of half botches from both shows.
There was a lot of bad.
Lots of talking. Lots of videos, lots of promos, lots of walk and talks. So it's hard. I only have one of the 4 things picked.
Okay.
Because AEW did not have a match I liked. I don't think there was a good wrestling match on this show.
I'll agree with you on that.
I think there was stuff that was good, but I don't think there was a good wrestling match on this entire show. And that is bad. That being said, man, it's so hard. It's hard for me to pick, honestly, because basically I'm down between Mox and Comoroto just because those 2 dudes didn't fuck anything up. They did a match where nothing was fucked up in it. Or the opener because the stuff with -1 was so good. But the rest of that match wasn't. That match set the tone for the rest of the night of being half botches and confusion and whatever. So it's, oh man, I'm going to give it to the opener just because Brody Lee Jr. was legit funny and legit, like, when your wrestling match has to be carried by an 8-year-old, or is carried by an 8-year-old, you're not in a good place, but that kid's legit funny, and whether they're helping him, coaching him, feeding him lines, having him rehearse, whatever it is, he's getting it, and it's good and it's entertaining, and it's legit a fun part of this wrestling show. NXT, I'm going with Carter Catanzaro versus Martinez and Storm. It was up to that point I had watched 3 hours of wrestling, and
you start to get the burnout a little.
And this was the thing that brought me in. It was the first thing to make me sit up and be like, "All right, let's see what you're doing." I like these. I like the people in the match. I like the side. Like Carter and Catanzaro can barely see over the top rope. Like they're little. And then to be in the ring against Tony Storm and Martinez, who, I mean, they're not Raquel Gonzalez, like tall
Martinez
and built,
might be.
but Martinez, they're imposing figures.
Yeah.
So, and I like the shock finish. I like they did that like pretty much all night with this Dusty Cup stuff, was these, like, not necessarily who you'd pick to finish. And I thought it was a good match. NXT had some other good enough things, but that was the one thing all night that I was like, man, this was good. This made me pay attention. This has me interested. Which makes that also my match of the night. And NXT my show, because AEW, I was mad at that first hour of AEW. Okay. Like, I was honestly like, this is what you give me in an hour. 2 matches, one of which is Cody versus Peter Avalon. Like, you had an hour of TV. So with commercials, what is it, 42 minutes, 45 minutes,
that, yeah.
Whatever it is. You give me 2 10-minute matches, 11-minute matches, and then the other half hour of TV time is like bucks, like vignettes, and like I'm like, what are you guys doing? And like they round out to 6 matches on the show, but like it's just not good. Not for me. How about you, pal?
Not for you. So AEW, yeah, there wasn't really anything to write home about. I'm just gonna go the first match because I love this stuff with -1. It made me feel real fucking good.
Right.
I like the post match stuff with Paige and Dark Order. So I'm gonna go with that. NXT, I almost went Fight Pit, but the beginning was like the first half was kind of boring. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the same with Carter and Catanzaro. It was
a legit good match.
Yeah, it was a good match. Shock finish.
And the finish was a shock. You didn't expect that team to win.
No.
And that move looked insane.
Poor Toni Storm's back.
Yeah.
It looked like she took that all on her back.
Catanzaro weighs 100 pounds.
Let me drop 100 pounds on your back.
Listen, I'm not an athlete.
We see how that happens. But yeah, I'm going to go with that. That was my match overall, too. And yeah, I'm going NXT.
It was a rough one.
Yeah. I'm going NXT, but not by a lot.
Not by a lot. by a match and a half. the second half of the fight pit in this, really.
Yeah.
It just was not clicking this week.
No, really wasn't.
It honestly, like, I was mad at the AEW. Like, this was, for me, one of the worst AEW Dynamites they've done.
What emotion were you feeling?
I'm not a dweeb, so I was mad.
I mean, you're a dweeb.
I'm a dweeb. I'm not that kind of dweeb. We'll end the show right now if you compare me to the Young Bucks ever again.
I would never. You have a very good hairline.
Thank you. That's not true either, but it is better than theirs. But that's how we felt. The fans, you guys at home, you wonderful listeners who watched on the television.
On the tele.
AEW pulled an 854,000, which is up almost 100,000 from the week before. And NXT pulled a 659,000, which puts them up over 100,000 from the week before. So still losing, but the same sort of increase. That's where NXT has lived. And they're pretty much at the numbers where they settle at. I don't know that any company is necessarily happy with these numbers all the time.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much where they sit. Looking back, I mean, it's mid 8s to low 9s. And like mid 6 to low 7s for NXT. It's just where they sit.
Yeah. I mean,
they're not doing a great job of growing audience on either side of the company.
No, and like, listen, like Wednesday was a big day in the world, so I'm sure a lot of people were watching the news last night.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, nothing, man.
Okay.
Sixers beat the Celtics. That's what happened.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I mean, listen. I'm going to keep watching. You're going to keep watching.
Yes.
I wish everybody would watch them, they're like, yeah, yesterday for each show wasn't exactly like home run material and must see anything.
No.
But NXT was fun. I thought NXT was fun.
You're allowed to have that. Our job here is to talk and critique and whatever.
Sure.
If we weren't doing it for the show, I probably would have shut AEW off.
Yeah, probably.
And there was a joy to that in professional wrestling. Like the Monday Night Wars had that joy of like, oh, all right, I ain't gonna watch Disco Inferno. I'm gonna switch over and see what the other company had.
Sure.
We do this a specific way, so we don't get that luxury, but
yeah,
that's what it is. But we are here to provide that service. Or if you didn't watch.
We're here to provide that service.
You can skip AEW pretty much completely this week.
Yeah.
If there's something there that catches your fancy, you go right ahead and watch it. Yeah. But you're not missing. I don't even think there's anything groundbreaking storyline wise that you necessarily have to see. Just Chuck Taylor as the butler. Yeah. I wonder where they were going to fit that in without having to sub Penelope in that match. But
no idea.
They probably would have just done a promo and done the thing with Orange Cassidy anyway.
Yeah.
But all right. Overall totals, season 2. I'm at 29 for AEW and 25 for NXT because my pants are full. And you are at 27 and 27, split right down the middle.
Clean as a whistle.
And overall, seasons 1 and 2 combined, I'm at 32 for AEW and 34 for NXT. So overall, clean drawers. And you are at 31 for AEW and 35 for NXT. Again, we pretty much line up around the same,
sure,
but little difference here and there, and that's fine. But that was it. That's it for the ratings, there, pal.
That's all.
What else we got to talk about?
I don't think there's anything.
We covered everything.
Not that I know of.
So I got to get the plugs.
Yeah, you're gonna do. How are you gonna do this? Is this gonna be good? Are you ready? You prepared? That's a no.
You see that right there, pal?
Oh my God, you actually typed it out.
I typed it out.
You fucker.
I typed out the plugs list and put it on the back of my notebook.
Your handy dandy notebook.
My handy dandy notebook.
Good.
It's a great notebook. Just
good
like
for you.
Thanks, buddy. You ready? Because I'm still going to screw it up.
I know you are. I can't wait.
All right. Reach out to us on Twitter. We're at Wednesday War Pod on Twitter, on Facebook. On Instagram, we're Wednesday Night War Podcast. You can, I don't know why I said podcast that way.
Podcast.
You can hit us up on Twitter. We like interacting with you. We will respond. We blow up your feed every Wednesday.
Except when the Sixers are playing.
Except when the Sixers are playing, then just half blow up your feed.
Sorry, pal.
That's fine. Whatever. But we like to interact. We try and respond as quick as we can. And all kinds of, if you want to argue with us peacefully, respectfully, your opinions differ. I'm sure they do. And no problem with that. We've been told by one of our longest time listeners, Justin, that he thinks we're wrong about the Young Bucks, but he still thinks our show's great. So
thanks, bud.
And the thing is that we're more than welcoming to that sort of discourse. Our opinions aren't the be-all, end-all.
It's just an opinion.
It's an opinion about wrestling.
Yeah.
It's worse than assholes. But reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a follow. Give us tweet at us a little bit. We can talk about how AJ Styles is taller than everybody on the AEW roster.
You mean every human ever?
Every human ever, yes. You can email the show at WednesdayNightWarPodcast@gmail.com. Taking all kinds of submissions there. You want to ask us a question to be answered on air. You want to give us a point of view. You want to do any of that kind of stuff. Reach out to us on.
You want to tell us to go fuck ourselves?
You can also do that via email or social media. I will block you. I won't. Maybe I will. Other than that, you can find us. We're on the soon-to-be-named network. At STBN Network on Twitter, soon-to-be-named-network.com, soon-to-be-named-network.tumblr.com, where you will find the whole list of shows on the soon-to-be-named network, which include us and Longbox Heroes After Dark, At Odds with Wrestling, Puzzle Warriors 3, Profane Argument, Final Wrestling Place, and Porch Talk. Give all those guys a like and a listen and a follow.
It's so funny. I'm literally looking at your fucking list.
Yep.
This is so.
If you like, I've streamlined this.
Hey, you're prepared.
Listen, I'm prepared.
I'll give you that.
I'm prepared. If you want comic books, we got that. You want more wrestling, we got that. You want comic book related puzzle games, we got that. You want another wrestling podcast, we got that. You want a political podcast, we got that too. And if you want the greatest podcast ever created, is Porch Talk. Although they're on hiatus because it is cold.
It is. It's a wee bit chilly.
Right. You can also follow some of our friends. Cinema Vertigogo at Cinema Vertigogo on Twitter. I've made a few appearances on there. You're looking at my list. I've mixed up the order because you've made me self-conscious now.
No. I'm seeing if you omitted anything.
Okay. I've made a few guest appearances on there. They cover 2 movies a week, roundtable discussion on whether they were good or bad and whatnot. That's a lot of fun. The Pod That Dreaded Sundown at Pod Sundown on Twitter. That's a horror movie podcast and horror movie collector podcast. That's our friend Chuck and Bill. Give them a listen. Give them a follow. They're good people. They talk wild and wacky movies.
They're very good people.
I don't know what they did this week, but they did Dead Heat a while ago. If that doesn't sell
I feel like this is the 3rd show in a row we've mentioned that they've done Dead Heat. Because we love Dead Heat.
Here's the thing. If Dead Heat, the Joe Piscopo feature film about a zombie police officer, does not sell you on listening to a podcast, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
So go ahead and listen to those guys. And the A Show on CKCC on Twitter. I was there last week. Thank you all for voting. I won the poll. I crushed them. My card was the best because I wrote an original Scotty Flamingo promo.
You sure did.
So listen to the A Show. They're bi-weekly. I think there's a new episode coming out this Monday.
Well, how many weeks ago were you on it?
I don't know. I don't have any sense of time.
Proud of you, bud.
Thanks, pal. Listen, I didn't type that part out.
That's okay.
You're asking me questions, throwing me curveballs.
I apologize.
But give those guys a listen.
How dare I?
That's Matt and Chris and an array of guests. They for lack of a better term, hijacked the idea of picking a year, picking a promotion, sort of round robin drafting. And building a card and playing that card out and then making everyone vote. I won. That's all that matters. I won by a large margin. Thank you for voting. Give those guys a listen. That's all I got, pal. Did I miss anything?
So on your list, I'm perusing it over real quick. Nope. Is PW Ponderings on there?
Well, Peter, I actually skipped PW Ponderings. You're right. I did not put it on here. Thanks for bringing that up. You can also find us on PW Ponderings.
I got to keep you in check,
you do.
Bud.
It's true. Now I have to reprint that out.
More work for you.
Funny enough, that was not written on when I usually look on the notes either. That was usually in my brain. Okay. But I'm too flustered by having a list. At PW Ponderings, of course, we're there. I tweeted about them today. pwponderings.com. Our episode will be up in the next day or two after it's posted on our Podbean site. So give a listen, give a follow to those guys. They have all your independent wrestling needs and us for some reason. So at PW Ponderings. There you go, pal. Now that you called me out on my own goddamn podcast.
I mean, it's my podcast too. I'm allowed to call you out.
That's true.
All right, bitch.
I'll allow it.
Well, yeah, you don't have a choice.
I'll allow it. Sick boy.
I'm no longer sick boy.
Okay, Scotty Riggs.
Listen, why do I gotta be Scotty? No, we had this discussion a long time ago.
We did, and you're
Doug is the sick boy.
Oh, that's right. Doug is the sick boy. Doug's getting a ton of heat this week.
Is it heat or promotion?
Well, either way. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
What can I say? I love Doug.
We should get Doug an eye patch.
I thought you were going to say we should get him an
iPad. Well, that was
iPad?
That was
I'm
Scotty,
like, for fucking what? Why?
That was Scotty Riggs that wore the eye patch anyway,
Why does
wasn't
Doug need a fucking iPad?
Eye patch. But that was Scotty Riggs.
Can we get him like an Apple branded iPad?
Yes. Now that we put that out there, whoever runs that company is going to come out with the eye patch.
I fucking print money, baby.
Right.
We're copyrighting that.
Give me Steve Jobs. Get him on the horn.
Give me Steve Jobs.
Get him on the horn.
Yeah, that might be difficult.
Is it? Was he unlisted?
I love you so much. Where can they find you on Twitter, pal?
Oh my god, what a train wreck. You can find me at the
What a bi-weekly train wreck. Save doesn't mean delete.
Oh god. No. THEDOOGE. You can find me on Twitter. It's a fucking disaster out there. Just reach out.
It's a fucking disaster out there. That is a good way to sell your Twitter.
My Twitter. It's a great way to sell my Twitter. How about you, pal?
Well, if you would want to talk to me on Twitter, you can find me at Brett.
Who wouldn't at this point?
That's true, because I don't really tweet much these days. But now that I'm COVID free, maybe I'll get a little bit more back into it. I don't know if you want to talk to me about. I discovered my love during COVID for guys' grocery games.
Okay.
I love it. It's so fucking good, man.
Is it like Supermarket Sweep? I don't know what it is. I know it's Guy Fieri.
Yeah, Guy Fieri. Excuse me. He gets real mad about it.
Really?
Yeah. If you ever watch Diners, Drive-Ins, Dives, he always says, I'm Guy Fieri.
Listen, if I was that dude, I'd get mad at a lot of other things than someone casually mispronouncing my last name. Like, I don't know, the person that convinced me to bleach and spike my hair for the last 30 years.
Yeah, so I love that meme where
Whoever told me to say Flavor Town.
Where it's Guy Fieri.
I love that you're saying it right. What an asshole.
The singer from Smash Mouth
and
Violent J. And they're like, these three have never been seen in the same place. Like, this is the fucking shit that goes on in my brain.
So are you saying that Guy Fieri has a furry costume of himself?
Yeah, and he just like walks around singing All-Star by Smash Mouth.
Okay.
If you also want to talk to me about how much Scott Pilgrim fucking rules.
Scott Pilgrim does rule.
I know it's real random, but I watched it this week for the first time in a while, and I'm completely back, like, just dove right back in.
It is really good.
Bought the books again. I haven't bought books in maybe ever.
I mean, they're comic books, so let's back that up a little bit, pal.
I haven't bought comic books maybe ever. It's fucking...
That's right, I got you hooked.
Yeah.
I got you hooked.
I'm in, baby. I don't know. You want to talk to me about Joel Embiid because he is my king, my god. At BrettXEdge570, talk to me about whatever the fuck you want.
There you go.
Talk to me about Saves the Day. I don't know.
Okay.
I like them a lot.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be watching the Conor McGregor fight on Saturday.
Okay.
Haven't decided yet. Maybe by nefarious means, I assume.
Wow.
I can't put that out there because Dana White's throwing a shit fit over piracy all of a sudden.
Yeah?
Yeah, Dana's had a bad week.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, poor guy. Asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But on Saturday, which would be tomorrow by the time you listen to this.
Yes.
On independentwrestling.tv, Jerry's Internet Wrestling Emporium, H2O Wrestling is having a doubleheader on Saturday.
Oh.
One show at 2:30 called You Shouldn't Have Done That, and the next show at 8 o'clock called No Pity for the Weak. So if you want to watch some brutal death matches, I'm sure, go to independentwrestling.tv, use the promo code of Mortis,
Ooh.
And you can get 5 whole ass days for free. And that is all I've got, partner.
All right, pal.
That's it.
That's it. Let's get out of here. This was a long one. Glad to have you back. Glad that you're healthy.
I'm very glad that I'm healthy, and I thanked you before, but thank you and Michelle for no. You guys fucking deserve it because you guys checked on me bunch.
She's not here to defend herself.
What?
I don't know.
But no, for real. Thank you to anybody who reached out. Means a lot. Means a lot more than you probably think. Please take this fucking shit seriously. Please wear a mask. Please socially distance. I don't know. I can't stress enough. I'm thankful that I feel like my symptoms were mild compared to others. Because not everybody overcomes it, and it's a fucking sad thing. And we're still in the middle of this shit, so please be good to each other. And I don't know, pro wrestling, let's go.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!